All right, this is Mr. Gillum, and now we're going to take a look at the Practice of Problem Solving book on page 161. The example says find 10 to the second power, or 10 squared, multiplied by 8 thousandths. Ooh, man, this is tricky. Okay. So what we're doing is this. We know several things about when we multiply a decimal by 10. When we multiply a decimal by 10, we can move the decimal place one spot to the right. It's one placeholder bigger. We multiply by 100, which is really 10 times 10. We move it twice. And we'll multiply by 1,000, which is really 10 times 10 times 10. We can move it 3 times. We also know that this, multiplying by 10, is really saying 10 to the first power. Multiplying by 100 is 10 times 10, or multiplying by 10 squared, or 10 to the second power. And 10 by 10 by 10 would really be multiplying by 10 to the third power. So, using this information, or even if we did 10,000, that would be like 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which would be 4 places, or really multiplying by 10 to the fourth power. So in this case, when we multiply by 10 to the second power, we're really multiplying 10 by 10 times 8 thousandths. So when we multiply 10 times a number, that moves it once. 10 by a number again, that moves it twice. So really our solution should be 8 tenths. Let's move 2 spots. So in the example here, it looks like they write it out a little differently, so kind of similar to what I just did. They say 10 squared is really 100 because 10 times 10 is 100, so they just change it to 100. Or they think about 100 as being 10 times 10, which is, this is kind of the approach that I took. And so 10 times 0.008, or 8 thousandths, would move it one spot, right there. Now we just have 0.08, and then multiplying it by 10 again, we'll move it one more spot, so 0.8, or 8 tenths. So 10 squared multiplied by 0.008 would be 8 tenths. So that's kind of how that works with mental math. Multiply any decimal by a power of 10, or 10 to any, with any exponent on it, then it just indicates the number of decimal places that we're moving to the right. They're getting bigger. So a few things I just want to touch on again. The verbiage squared, I use that word a lot, means to the second power. And cubed to the third power. Super important to remember that, because I'm going to use the word squared and cubed because I'm just used to using those words. So remember, squared has to do with area. You need 2 sides multiplied by each other. Cubed has to do with volume. You need 3 sides. And if it's a cube, they'd all be the same number. If it's a square, that would be the same number that you're multiplying. Okay, so that's why we call it cubed and squared. It's the amount of space inside. All right, so that's it for today. Mental math exercise. Think about 10 to the second power is 10 times 10. 10 to the third power, 10 cubed would be 10 times 10 times 10. Every single 10 moves the decimal place one more spot. So that's it for today.